Kinder Bueno YouTube, Mike here, Dezaras Prime, back with another Transformers Combiner Wars review, which I can now add to a playlist because I've just done a playlist. And today we're looking at Dead End. Now the comparison with this is going to be a bit, I don't know if it'll be extensive or not, but there are three others to compare it to. It's one of those millions and millions kind of repaints. Not that that's a bad thing because this is a good mould. Although I am just going to say one thing right off the bat. His legs are a bit loose. He's not as tight as Prowl or Smokescreen or Streetwise. He's a little bit loose in the legs. But yeah, there's four versions of this. Although this guy came first, he should have the tightest legs, I feel. So where to begin with this bastard? There is resculpting. We'll get to that in a bit. He doesn't pop as much as the his mold brethren. Prowl's like the nice ice white. Smokescreen's the blue and red. Streetwise is white with red bits. This guy's a bit more muted. But in the right way. He doesn't pop a lot better than that fucking boring aerial bastard twat, what's his name? Skydive, is it? Yeah. His colour scheme's darker, but it's still a very nice colour scheme. And it goes together so beautifully. Bright isn't always better, folks. I mean, look at me. Check out the head sculpt. Lovely head sculpt. You've got those bronzy, burnt orange highlights going throughout the figure. The nice purple visor, and it's just a gorgeous fucking head. A lot of these have very nice head sculpts, and this is no different. The chest, just give me a sec. Because some of the grey is coming off as purple here, but it isn't, it's grey. A nice different chest to the others, with some lovely detailing in there. You've got the little Decepticon symbol in the middle. Combiner pegs visible, but that kind of matches the grey detailing in the chest. So nothing to complain about there. That nice, what is this colour? Burgundy? I want to say burgundy. I'm going to go with burgundy, correct me if I'm wrong, but it'll be after the video, won't it? So, but let's get my face out of the way so the camera can focus on this guy. There we go. Nice burgundy shoulders with the grey upper biceps to just break up all that burgundy. And even then you've got on the forearms some of that nice burnt orange effect. It really is. It's muted, it's subtle, but it's nice. And you've got some silver paint on the sides there, which go with the grey nicely. We've even got different shades of grey for the waist and crotch and the thighs. Trying to hide myself. Stop focusing on me, camera. There we go. And then that nice lower legs. The legs are a bit bland. You've got like the burgundy with the burnt orange pieces there. But it's nothing to cry about by any stretch. All in all, it's another success from this mould. And yeah, this is the first one, I believe, to come from that mould. Like I said, legs are a bit loose. The others have much tighter joints on their legs. It might have been an issue that was fixed later. They might have been like, oh, well, his legs are a bit loose. Let's tighten them up for future releases. Might have just been that. But all in all, he still stands. He doesn't like do the splits when you put him down, he stands nicely enough. It's yeah, it's just another great version of this figure. And I mentioned in the drag strip review that when I come to my top 10 figures, I won't go by molds. I'll go by the actual figure itself. And I said Mirage will probably crack the top 10. Drag strip won't, most likely. It's going to be hard to pick out which one of this mold gets in the top 10. I might have more than one version of this figure in the top 10 because they're all just done so nicely. Let's get to the comparison. Oh, points of articulation, they're the same, but he's got the 360 head that is a bit of a pain to get all the way around, but that's fine. Who fucking buys Transformers to play Exorcist anyway? Arms go out and all the way around. Upper bicep swivel, elbow joint. Bit of wrist action in and out, mainly for transformation. Obligatory waist swivel. Like I say, legs go out, see how loose it is. But it's a minor issue. Like I said, it might have been fixed later. Thigh swivel and bends at the knees. No foot articulation because he barely has feet, but again, not going to grumble. So yeah, there are 4 of this guy. Well, there's 4 versions I own to compare it to. I think it's 4. I don't think Bruticus has a version of this. No, he doesn't. Right, so 4 figures. Okay, now one thing I just want to quickly draw upon when it comes to Dead End is I mentioned in my previous Stunticon reviews, Drag Strip and Breakdown, that when it comes to those molds, because they were the first to use that mold, that their successors, or immediate successors, as in Sunstreaker and Mirage, didn't have a lot of moulding differences. Wheeljack was obviously moulded differently to Sunstreaker and Breakdown, but in terms of the immediate successors, Sunstreaker and Mirage didn't have any moulding differences. But Dead End has a lot of moulding differences in comparison to the other 3. There's the obvious head sculpt differences there that I'll just quickly show. But the chests, if you look, Smokescreen, and I believe even Streetwise and Prowl have the same chest piece, but Dead End has a completely different chest piece. And this is why I was so quick with the description earlier on the figure, when I just showed his articulation and stuff like that, because the real meat of the comparison, the meat of the descriptions will come in the form of this comparison. Now the shoulders appear to be, for all intents and purposes, the same. Or if they are different, there's no immediate notice. I think they might be different actually. If you noticed, Dead End, his surface is more flat, whereas Streetwise, Prowl and Smokescreen all have a bit of an arch there. Let me get there. It's like a bit of a step in the shoulder there. So yeah, even the upper biceps are different. And then the forearms, they're different as well. If you look, Prowl, Streetwise and Smokescreen all have that nice moulding detail with the, actually shows up better on Prowl, the sculpting effect on there. Dead End doesn't. He has a completely different sculpting effect on his. If you look, it's like this portion of the forearm is the overlay, and the outer forearm looks like it goes underneath, whereas with Dead End, this is the overlay, and that goes underneath. And it's got different mechanical effects inside the forearm there, which is pretty neat. And then the abdominal areas, let's check those out. It's hard to tell because Dead End's chest piece comes down lower. Let's lift that up. He's got those loose legs. Let's get a better look at the chest piece underneath. See, even that looks different. Let's get your tits out, Prowl. See, there's some nice detailing under there that I haven't really shown before. Yeah, even that's different, because Prowl has those two bumps there and the ridges above it, and Dead End doesn't. So yeah, I'm figuring out even more differences between these figures as I go along. I expected, honestly, Dead End to match up almost exactly with at least Streetwise, considering Defensor came after Menasor. Let's look at the waist and crotch. That looks the same. I believe they have the same bollocks. Thighs. They appear to be the same thigh moulding as well. Shins and legs, they're different. Prowl, Streetwise and Smokescreen all have the same shins. Dead End doesn't. Dead End has different shins. I mean, you can tell immediately by looking at Dead End and Streetwise that, yeah, Streetwise doesn't have the step ridges going down his shins. He has that little burnt orange box at the bottom with some different detail going around here. And honestly, I don't know what I'm more impressed with. Like, which version I should be more impressed with, because Dead End is so fucking different. I'm just really struggling to grasp where I should be most pleased with these. Whether it falls with Dead End or whether it falls with what came after, because Dead End came first. Dead End was wave 2, I believe. Streetwise was wave 3. Prowl and Smokescreen were 4 and 5. So, you know, Dead End was the first one as part of the Stunticons. And then they went with some bastard retooling with Streetwise and then Smokescreen and Prowl. It's like the Wheeljack and Sunstreaker. I know they weren't the best mould, but they really went to town when it came with the retooling for Wheeljack. And they've done it again here. More impressive so, because they traditionally haven't really done that with the immediate successors. Like, I would have expected Dead End and Streetwise to match up pretty evenly, almost exactly, bar the heads and paint. And then maybe Sunstreaker and Smokescreen and Prowl, would have been the retools. But no, they went straight out there and did it differently. And, you know, kudos to Hasbro and Takara for doing that. And, yeah, it just sets these figures apart even more. So many little differences that you wouldn't think to look for. And yeah, Breakdown, Dead End, is another fantastic figure. I love Prowl and Streetwise and Smokescreen. They're all very good. And then Dead End just adds to that, but it's so different at the same time. It's... Yeah, there's a reason why I love this mold so much. It's just... Legs aside, you know, they can do no wrong with this one. Anyway, I'm going to stop jizzing my pants over this fucking mold. Let's get to Dead End's vehicle mode. Okay, so Dead End's vehicle mode is another one of those where it's going to be better to describe it in the comparison section, because there is a lot of differences to it. But as a nice supercar type thing, it looks really good. He has that smokescreen issue of that grey going all the way across. I'd like to see it painted top and bottom, but yeah, minor gripe. He has a nice orange stripe that goes on down there with the Decepticon logo on the other side, and painted lights. I'd assume they're lights, although who has silver lights? And some nice silver detailing on the front and the sides. And then the moulded detail on the back with the black windows. It's a nice touch there. Again, another difference that we'll get to. And the silver wheels. And underside, you know, it's your standard car underside. All in all, I like it. It's nice. It is very nice. I don't know if this is intentional, but the Decepticon symbol seemed a little bit off kilter there. I'm having a really hard time not shadowing. But yeah, the Decepticon symbol does seem a bit angled, but I would guess it's designed that way. I mean, he's a stunt car, isn't he? So, and the way the bonnet ridge folds in there, it kind of makes sense. Yeah, it's just a weird little observation I had in the moment. Like I said, the best descriptions I can give will be when I compare it with his mold brethren. So let's get to that. Okay, so here we have the four cars all together, all bunched in. And the first thing to note is the fronts. Let's start with the front. Dead End doesn't have that fucking ram bar type thing on the front. And he also has different light sculpting on there. If you look Streetwise, and for that matter Prowl and Smokescreen, all have that weird sort of like the lined lights, whereas Dead End has more traditional like bumper light kind of things going on there. The bonnets are different because Prowl and Smokescreen, Streetwise all have that different moulded bonnet with the ridges in the sides, and Dead End just has a smooth bonnet. Also, it looks like his front window comes forward a little bit more. Well, that might just be me, I don't know. The roofs, or the roofs, I don't know how you say plural of roof, is different. Prowl, Smokescreen and Streetwise all have that light bar on the top because police cars, even though Smokescreen technically isn't, but yeah, straight up repaint. Again, Dead End doesn't have that. I'm trying to get myself out of the way. And then the backs, they have, again, Dead End has a different back. His is smooth all the way down with a bigger window paint job as well. Streetwise and Prowl only have the smaller windows because they have this weird ridge things, these bits that stick out that go down the back. Smokescreen has it as well, but has no painted window. Prowl obviously has it there as well. I'm going to stop tickling them. From the sides, let's have a look. Now let's just get a look at, let's use these two as an example. Yeah, you could definitely tell that the backs are moulded differently there. Smokescreen has that piece that goes down. Dead End is missing that. It's almost like, yeah, I think that's the only thing that makes it different, because it feels different. It slopes down a bit more there, but you know, they have that bit either side, so they've definitely done a lot of work on this figure, from this to this and this and this. Yeah, a lot of differences here. And again, it's hard to tell which one I should be more impressed with. Whether I should be more impressed with Dead End or Streetwise. I don't know. They've done a really good job. Dead End is like the only one of his kind, in a way. And Streetwise, Prowl and Smokescreen are all very evocative of one another. Whereas Dead End just seems to stand out on his own a bit more. So, yeah, I'd probably... It's hard to pick one. It really is. But, yeah, that's Dead End's vehicle mode, like his robot mode, very different. The vehicle was expected because Prowl and Streetwise are police cars, and Smokescreen is a straight-up repaint of Prowl, traditionally. So Dead End was expected to be different in vehicle mode. I just didn't expect him to be so different in robot mode as well. Anyway, let's get to Dead End's limb modes. Okay, so his legs, like standard fare. It's pretty much the same as the other legs, Prowl, Smokescreen, Streetwise. It's a decent leg. It's not the best leg, it's not the worst leg. It's just a decent leg. You've got the like different option with, you can have that up a little bit if you want, just to add a bit of extra knee protection, I guess. Yeah. There's not really a lot to say about it. As a leg, he's perfectly decent. Let's get to the arm. So appearance-wise, his arm is standard Prowl fucking rocking the sleeve effect. But the issue with it is those loose legs. The leg doesn't hold together because the way it connects at the bottom is not the strongest, but at least with the other three, it's offset, it's helped by the fact that the leg joints are tight, so they're not as wont to fall apart, to just splay like a slag. But with Dead End, it's kind of difficult because the legs are loose, and so they don't hold in place at the waist as well. So it kind of, there's a bit of a risk factor with having him as an arm mode. I have him as a leg mode just for the simple fact that he holds together better as a leg than he does as an arm. But QC issues aside, it is definitely the same as Prowl, Smokescreen, Streetwise. The arm's a decent, serviceable arm. There's nothing wrong with it. You can... With the leg, same with the leg thing, you can fucking flip that bit up, have a bit of a shoulder guard type thing going on if you want, which looks pretty decent. It's just a shame that, you know, the legs on the arm don't hold together as well. I know what I meant. So yeah, that wraps up Combiner Wars Dead End. I expected differences in robot mode, vehicle mode, sorry, because, you know, Dead End isn't a police car, the others are. I didn't expect there to be so many differences in robot mode. I thought it'd just be, as I mentioned before, with Sunstreaker and Breakdown and Mirage and Dragstrip, I expected the immediate successor, that being Streetwise, to be pretty much exactly the same as Dead End. And then maybe Prowl and Smokescreen would have had some tooling differences later. But no, they went straight all out. They released the dead end figure and then they retooled it immediately for Streetwise. So, props to that. It's the legs let it down a bit on dead end. It's a shame because his arm mode, it holds. Doesn't feel as sturdy as a Smokescreen arm or a Prowl arm though. I'll say that much. But yeah, all in all, still a decent figure. I love that mold. It's just the legs are a bit of an issue in certain places. That's it. But yeah, I believe that's the last time I'll be reviewing that mold. So yeah, that is it. Decent mold. I like it a lot across all 4 that I own. So next up, I have Off-Road to review. And I've been quite mixed on this mold. It works for Trailbreaker. It doesn't work for Ironhide. Will it work for Off-Road? We shall see. But that's next time. I'm going to wrap this up here. Stop rambling on. I've been Dezaras Prime. You shall see me next time.